Hi, I'm Dorri. I am from Southern California. I am studying communication studies in California, and I am here doing international journalism at the Hogeschool van Amsterdam.
Okay. University you're studying in America?
California State University, Long Beach.
Okay. Why did you choose Amsterdam out of interest?
You know what's funny is that I just kind of chose it out of nowhere.
Okay.
So I knew that I wanted to come to Europe, and I knew that I have like an artsy vibe about me, and so I didn't want to do something normal or average. A lot of people from California will go to Italy or will go to the UK, and I wanted to do something different.
Okay.
And so I sat down with my exchange counselor, and she kind of gave me a list of things, and we were looking at just like Scandinavian areas, and then she was like, well, there's this program in Amsterdam that seems like it would be great for you, and Amsterdam has a cool vibe, and it's one thing that I wouldn't suggest that people who aren't adventurous do.
No, okay.
And so I was totally down.
Okay.
So that's why I chose Amsterdam. Also, specifically, Amsterdam had this program, which is something I was super excited about. And so, yeah, that made my decision.
So it was partly the program. It wasn't just because you wanted to come to Amsterdam. It was part of the program.
It was both.
Good combination.
Yeah, great combination, yeah.
Okay. What is it about Amsterdam that struck you as interesting?
So
before you came?
I didn't know much about Amsterdam, and I did my best to not research it because I felt like a lot of people would view it just for the tourist attractions or just what it's known for in America. And I didn't want to have those sort of expectations going into it because I realized that there must be a reason that everyone loves it so much. And everyone that I had talked to about it had said, you know, oh my gosh, I love it. You're going to love it so much. And they weren't necessarily the kind of people that would just hang out in the red light district and at coffee shops all day long. So I did my best to, besides like the basic weather, not really research it and just experience it when I got here.
I've been here before.
Yeah, so I didn't do any online research. I guess that's kind of what I'm trying to say. I didn't do online research and I didn't really read any books or anything, but I kind of chatted with a few people, felt it out a little bit, and just decided to go for it. It vibed with me.
So you didn't really have, you had vague expectations for nothing concrete.
Nothing concrete. Like as in, I applied for my apartment and I had looked at pictures and I just was really guessing as to what I needed to be living in. But I saw that it was on a canal and I was like, oh my gosh, that's so pretty.
Interesting. So because I was going to ask later about the guide, obviously you didn't read it before you came. No. Did you get it before you came?
No. I got it when I got here.
So you got it, you arrived and then you got this guy?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I totally did research once I got here, but before I got here, nothing.
So you arrived at Schiphol Airport. What was your first impression?
This airport is big, and I remember being like, oh, I remember that when I got here, I thought I had just come off of, I backpacked a bunch of places right beforehand. And so I arrived here with just my backpack, so I didn't even have to go to the baggage carousel. And I walked outside and it was sunny. And then like 5 minutes later, it was raining. And I was just like, what? And people were really nice. And I remember thinking, wow, I really need to buy a jacket. And then I caught the train to Central Station. And wandered around a lot because I got really lost before I was able to find my apartment. But yeah, I asked a lot of people, and a lot of people were really like nice to speak in English because I was so worried that no one was going to understand me. And really helpful in directing me where to go and all sorts of fun stuff.
So you did find your apartment in the end?
I did. It took me a while. I wandered around with a very heavy backpack somewhere near Science Park for like a solid hour.
Oh, is your apartment in the Science Park?
No, my apartment is in Central, but I had to go and get my my key from Key, and they had an introduction thing, and so I had to go to the Science Park in order to go. I live in on Prinsengracht. I know, right?
Very nice.
Super nice.
Yeah.
So, and I had just picked that out by, picking...
Pure luck.
the apartment on the canal in Amsterdam. Yeah, pure luck.
Central, you haven't had problems with language
no,
since you've been here?
I haven't had any problems with language. Usually people will start speaking to me in Dutch, and then I'll just be like, I'm really sorry, like I don't understand what you're saying, and they'll speak English, which is really nice.
Okay. You didn't do any research. Your first impression was did you feel comfortable? Did you feel safe?
Yeah, I felt safe. The terminals in Central Station, like every time you try and buy a ticket or anything, tell you to beware of pickpockets and all that sort of stuff. Yeah. And so I was like, oh, I need to make sure I'm safe and all that sort of stuff. And I am making sure I'm safe, but I felt safe already. Okay. And it feels really homey here. So like you walk down the streets and it feels like you're in some quaint neighborhood and you know, you can start singing or something. I don't know. I haven't seen anyone singing, but I feel like you might.
So you've been here for 3 weeks.
Yes.
And what sort of things have you been doing? Apart from school, obviously.
All sorts of fun stuff. Okay. So at first I did the Amsterdam ISN Introduction Week. Yep. And so I was meeting with like groups and doing like a scavenger hunt, and we did a canal cruise, and we did, what else did we do? We did all sorts. Oh, we went to Artist Zoo, which is fun because I love animals. Yeah. And we had they had like a couple parties, and so that was really cool. And then I made sure to set aside a couple days because I had to do all of the basics, like filling up my apartment with pots and pans and going to Hema and getting everything I need, like a towel, and buying a bike, which was an adventure. Yes. Yeah. I went too late to Waterloo Pleinmart. Yeah. I went too late, so they were closing up, but I was like, I'm determined to get a bike today. And so I bought a bike off of this guy for €60, and then I got, 500 kilometers down the road, and the bike broke. Yeah. And I was like, this is so ghetto. So I walked it back. I walked it back, and I was like, excuse me, sir, I just bought this from you, and it broke. So he gave me a new bike. Okay. So it was cool, and it worked out, and it is way easier to get around on a bike than it is to get around on anything else. Yeah.
Did you use public transport for it as well?
Yeah, I used public transport for about the first week.
How did you find that?
Not bad. Not bad. I mean, okay, so my first day in Amsterdam, when I was going to Hema because, I needed soap and all that sort of fun stuff, I had gone to 3 different stores, so I had 3 bags, and they were huge bags, and I was taking the tram all over the place. I think I was, I don't remember what street I was on, but so I had the bags next to me, and I saw the tram coming. I was at the tram stop, and I leaned over to get the bags, and the tram hit me in the head.
Seriously?
Seriously. On my first day in Amsterdam. And I stumbled back, obviously, because it's a moving tram and it hits you in the head.
They're fairly heavy, yeah.
And they're fairly heavy, and I am a small human. And all these people were like, oh my gosh, are you okay? But in Dutch, so I don't really know what they were saying. But yeah, so that was fun.
You are okay.
I'm totally fine. Cool. But it was like tragedy on the first day. I was like, I will make it. If I can make it through being hit in the head by a tram, I can make it through anything. Yeah. Everything is fine.
How about shopping and stuff like that? Have you found getting through finding food? Do you cook for yourself?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So you cook for yourself. You go to the Hema. Shop. Where do you shop?
I go to Albert Heijn for most of my groceries, and I am so glad that I just signed up for a Dutch bank account, which means that I will no longer get rejected from Albert Heijn. Yes. Because half of the time the ATMs in their stores don't work. Yeah. And you think that they're going to work, so you get all your stuff, and then you're like, oh, just kidding, I can't buy any of this.
Yeah. So you're signing up for a Dutch bank account.
Yeah, I signed up for a Dutch bank account.
You get a card.
I got the card, yeah. And I've been going all over the place. I went to Albert Koop Market?
Yeah, Albert Koop. It's really
Albert Koop. Albert Koop.
Yeah.
I went to Albert Koop, and because I'd been backpacking, I only had a backpack of clothes and everything. So I needed more than 4 outfits for the 6 months that I'll be here. So I went to the market thing, and one of the areas happened to have all of my size clothes, and they were selling it for super cheap. So I got like 4 jackets and like a couple shirts for €20.
Cool.
I know, it was rad.
Very good, actually.
Super rad.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I've just been all over the place. I went to like Van Haren for some new boots and...
Are there any things you sort of wish you'd known before you arrived? I know part of it you didn't want to know, but are there any things you think, I wish I'd known that?
I think that I wish that I had known, I think that if I had more in-depth planned the outfits and stuff that I would wear, like the weather-wise, because I kind of looked at it, but because when I was in the States, I was still on Fahrenheit, so I didn't understand Celsius. So I kind of looked at Celsius and I was like, oh, that seems normal. Like, I'll be fine. But I happen to know that when it hits winter, that I'm going to be freezing.
It does depend, but it can get very cold, yeah.
So I wish that I had known that ahead of time. Other than that, I think it's been really almost like a solid experience not knowing anything. Yeah, like traveling here and just kind of experiencing it as I go. Maybe if I had gone and learned a little bit of Dutch before I showed up, that might have been good. For me, it's really hard for pronunciation.
Oh, it is.
So
it's really hard for English speakers.
Yeah, so if you look at words or even street names, so you can't really ask someone where a street is if you don't know how to pronounce a street, because there's a lot of streets that are very similar, and so if you say one thing, they might direct you to a thing that's not what you actually want. So that probably would have been helpful. I think pronunciation, I know that sounds kind of weird, but that, and it was really, really, really helpful. I downloaded an app that is an offline map of Amsterdam, and that is the most helpful thing that I have ever done for this trip.
Have you, in terms of communications, have you got a phone for here? Or
I got a SIM card.
You got a SIM card for here, so, and does that include internet and stuff like that?
You like put money on it as you go, so you can buy data or buy stuff like that. I haven't put a lot of data on it, but I bought a router from the media market for my room, and that's been fantastic.
Okay. So
great idea. And it was like a €33 router.
It's a router, because have you got internet in the house?
Yeah, there's Ethernet.
So then you can Wi-Fi out.
So I just plugged it into that, and then have Wi-Fi in my whole room. So even if I don't know what I'm doing or how to get there, I can look it up before I leave and then save it, which is really helpful.
What do you plan? Have you got any specific plans while you're here? Things you've got to do, you want to do, or experiences you want to have?
I want to explore more of the Netherlands. So I want to go to like Rotterdam and The Hague and different places like that. I also want to venture out of the Netherlands because, I mean, being from the States, it's so cool to be able to go a few hours and be in a different country. Like, that's insane. Yeah, I'm planning on going to Oktoberfest, because you have to do that while you're here.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And then I'm probably going to hit up Belgium at some point because it's so close.
And any plans in terms of Amsterdam? Have you already found a place you'd like to visit, or pubs or cafes or anything like that?
So I'm working at finding like a studying place because my program is really intense and it involves a lot of writing. And so it's hard to just write in your room all the time because you run out of the creativity that an area supplies for you. So I'm working on trying to find a place. I've gone to Stach.
Where's that?
S-T-A-C-H. It's on Haarlemmerstraat.
Oh, okay. Oh, it's like a shared...
It's like a little shop / you can sit there and eat a sandwich, and there's Wi-Fi.
Oh, I think I know what you mean,
Yeah, so I went there the other day. That was really cool. I've gone to a couple of the parks, and the parks are really pretty. And I really like. You know what's really cool is if you go north on the ferry, which is free, which is awesome. There's like an art warehouse. There's like a warehouse that's been turned into. That place is really cool. I like that place a lot.
So you have started to find nice places to...
Yeah, I've been trying. I did a couple touristy things, like I went to the Amsterdam Tulip Museum, and I went to the Anne Frank House, and Yeah, I've done a few of those things, but now I'm really honing in on, oh yeah, you're here to work still.
Yeah. So you do see it as not just, you want to get the experience of working here.
Yes, I do. Especially because I'm doing international journalism, and for me, it's such a valuable experience to be able to study international journalism in a place that's not my hometown.
Yeah.
Because when you're studying journalism in California and you've grown up in California, then you're always going to have that perspective, and you're really being taught by people who have the same perspective as well.
Yeah.
And if you're doing anything that's international, you should go international in order to understand the other perspectives on it. And so I am so excited just to even continue. I've been in studies for a few days now, just to continue hearing the lectures and working on projects and stuff like that. So